Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, people from all over. Karibuni to Sana. Welcome to this awesome, great conversation we are about to have just about now. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's another fine morning. Hope you're well. Hope you are doing fantastic. Karibu sana kwa hii show. Show yako ndo hiyo tu imeanza. Karibu sana. We are live here at Africa 24. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to this awesome, good show we are about to have. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from whatever time your country is in. How are you? Welcome so much. I'm your host, as usual, Jakes the moderator, and today we have an interesting one. We have an interesting topic we are about to look at, even as we look at the newspapers. All right, we have another great morning. We have another great conversation that we are about to look at. Now, it's now becoming almost disturbing because we are having gatherings, which is allowed in our constitution to have public gatherings, to have public meetings, to have political meetings. It's allowed. But I don't think what is allowed is to have bloody meetings, is to have meetings that people come armed to the teeth with machetes, with rungus, with pangas, ready to strike the opponents. All right, we can agree, we can disagree, but do you agree to have meetings where someone might lose a teeth and a hair, blood, even their lives, because we don't agree? Is that what really we envisioned when we fought for independence? When we talk about democracy, what does it mean? It means that you might have an opinion that I don't agree with, all right? But that doesn't really give you the right to take it out on me using violence. So that's what we'll be looking at, even as we look at the newspapers and news making headlines. I'll be telling you why the topic. Of course, we tried to look at it kidogo jana usiku, so make sure you watch what happened last night at Africa 24, and equally what's about to happen in this show. But as well, kindly kimbia hapo YouTube, subscribe to Africa 24, and let this be your home channel, all right, for such content and many that are always uploaded at Africa 24. Kuna vitu nzuri sana kule ndani, so kimbia uko ndani and get yourself entertained by many things that happen there at Africa 24. All right, you may be asking, I'm in Mtembei, I'm in all these other channels. Do I need to go to Africa 24? Yes, you do. Why? Because there are things that are not posted at these other channels, but they are posted at Africa 24. So grow with us. Let's have you be part of this great family, the Africa 24 family. All right. Thank you very much. I'll be looking at the Daily Nation. I'll be looking at, of course, the Standard. I'll be looking at Taifa Leo and other newspapers just to really keep you updated in this morning show. But zaidi ya yote, karibu sana. I'm your host, Jakes, the moderator, and this is Africa 24. Ndio tu tumeanza, lakini zaidi ya yote, karibu. Karibisha wawili watatu, wacha tuwe na show moja murwa kabisa. And it is the morning's edition. And of course, I'm your host, Jakes, the moderator. We look at the violence happening in meetings that, of course, um, at times zinakuwa very bloody, zinakuwa very messy. We saw it in Kisii when Simba Arati had a meeting, and others say that Osoro came with goons. I'm not sure how true that is. It's yet to be truly verified because the other day Osoro recanted those claims and all. But we will be looking at all that, yeah. And there are some people who say guns were fired, and we saw that bloody guy whose ear was shot at. Of course, no life was lost. Then kidogo days later, Baba went, or rather Odinga went to Busia, And there again, we saw men and women running for their dear lives because guys came armed to the teeth with machetes and rungus, ready to attack and pounce on anyone who they perceived to be an opponent. All right. And as if that wasn't enough, yesterday in Bungoma, the same in Poster Grounds, we saw the meeting that was held by Raila Odinga, of course, to popularize and recruit new members for ODM. It was disrupted. Of course, they were saying it was because of the politics on that ground where we have it being a Fort Kenya stronghold, as many would say. But really, did we have to go that way? All right. At what point will we learn as Kenyans that it's okay to have divergence of views? It's okay not to agree. All right. It's okay not to agree. It is okay not to agree. We don't have to read from the same script. We don't have to come from the same party. We don't have to come from the same ideology. We are all born of different mothers. That as well should inform you that we all have different ideas, different opinions. We are wired differently, right? But when it comes to politics, we even take it a notch higher. Take it a notch higher to the level that we fight, we maim, and at times we even lose lives unnecessarily. Of course, with me is one Alex Media. He's joining me live from the US, and many as well will be joining me live here in Kenya. But we are looking at why do we have this political intolerance. I'll be playing you some videos that will help us discuss all this. But we are looking at why is it that we have good meetings, all right? Politicians, I'm almost certain they don't create or they don't organize meetings to have them end in fracas, to have them end in shambles, to have them end in a way that many may say it wasn't proper. All right, we have had instances where we see people come to meetings with machetes, pangas. Mtu anakuja amejiandaa kukata mtu. Mtu amekuja kwa mkutano. The aim is not to listen to the politician. The aim is to slice someone. The aim is to shoot at someone. And again, when that happens, we always feel as though it's because of a certain politician, it's because of a certain political party. But by the end of the day, that person who will be shot will be a Kenyan. That person who will lose a leg, an ear, an eye, all right, will be a Kenyan. You might not use your panga directly, but what of the stampede that at times occur when people begin to run helter skelter? What happens to that? All right, so karibu sana kwa hii show. We have a great one, we have another one, a good one, better than very other many other shows we have had. We look at why the intolerance, we look at why the violence, we look at why we have all this happening at a time when we need to have a proper discussion as a country. We have so many other problems to have ourselves fight over politics, to have ourselves maim over politics, to have ourselves kill over politics. Really, I don't think it's necessary. I don't even think it's prudent to have people lose lives, people destroy one another because of politics. Because after that rally, these people still live in the same neighborhood. They still live in the same vicinity, right? They are always together. They only disagree when there is that rally. They only disagree when that politician comes around. But after that, they live together. They buy from the same shops. They go to the same markets. They go to the same barber shop. Some are even best of buddies. But it's because a leader has come, a leader, the leader who they oppose has come. That's why they behave the way they do. So that's what we'll be looking at, and equally look at the newspapers making headlines. Bwana Alex, good morning.
Good morning, Jax. Good. Hapa sio
Hope
morning,
you're well.
hapa
Hapo
actually
kwenye
it's
ni
evening.
It's still night, all right. Okay.
Midnight.
Karibu sana. Hope you're well.
Fantastic.
Fine, fine, fine. Welcome to this show and Karibu sana. We are about to have a great conversation, all right? Okay, now let's look at some of the clips as we go on with Bwana Alex. This, I think, was in Busia town a few days ago. Look at what the police are holding. This came from Raya. This is what Raya had come with in the meeting. Rungus, pangas, just ready to disperse this crowd. All right. This crowd had gathered to listen to Raila Odinga. Of course, they didn't agree with some of the leaders who were there, like Paul Otuoma, the governor of the region. And then, unfortunately, look at the police. I don't know if you can see this far, but the police are having machetes. I don't know if it's from the crowd that
Shika doria, yeyote aliye na silaha ambayo hairuhusiwi asije. Na tunaanza mkutano. Msiogopeshwe na mtu yeyote. Asante sana. Katika sajili yetu tunaona anaitwa Dr. Paul Otuoma, memba namba 0000, Road Agenda Nambula na Polling Center ni Bujwanga Primary School. Tu ni area MP ambaye ni chairman wa county. Haya. Anataka niseme kitu. Nitaongea na wewe. Sasa leo mtarudisha nini habari? Haya. Watu wa Busia mjambo.
now this was in Poster Grounds yesterday. The same equally happened.
Simama wajili muendelee na mkutano, simameni. Acha polisi watadili nao. Polisi watadili nao. Nyinyi simama, you are safe. You are very very much safe. Please come back. Tulia, polisi watadili usalama. Tulia tu.
And the crowd was dispersed because people couldn't tolerate divergence of views, and then finally, ladies and gentlemen, this equally happened in Kisi town. No, I think in North Mogirango or South Mogirango.
Kai, oje mumuanjede. Aya, aya, tuiwane. Na yonde wen kawocha, aboto abakwa kulibaga. Tuiwane ine. Ebintu bibere. Abantu bamintu oikakaga. Tuiwane ine. Mwanya korora. No ene serikali ya etete. Ke kolete basariga. Gobono mbume nakora gochaga. Mbume nakora gocha mugirango. Mo wancha barai tusigane. Mo wancha pi. Ekiagera omwemisi nabwate gasi yae. Omujumba gatwale gasi yae. Omuseneta gatwale gasi yae. Women drapo gatwale gasi yae. No mo governor atwale gendo ke gasi yae. Mo wancha boygo. Bono tiganda abole. Abana tiakominyokani abo. Apana fujo mugane tese ekiebega. Ngoyo.
Soro.
Aye, bakara sababu otabila, mwaka melina, otabila.
And of course, ladies and gentlemen, that happened in Kisi. And I'm asked to translate. Alex will do that for me. But that meeting was supposed to be a peaceful one. Many have it that it was the governor issuing bursaries to great people, I think of South Mogirango, if I'm not wrong. And unfortunately, as he was trying to do that, he was trying to address the crowd, and no sooner had he started, uh, people from nowhere stormed the meeting, and kidogo kidogo began shooting in the air. Yeah, and it's because some of these things we can't really play them here because they are very graphical and very bloody. But someone was shot in the ear, and his clothes were really messed up with blood. And because of a meeting, because of a political gathering, because someone couldn't agree, or someone doesn't see eye to eye with none other than Simba Arati. All right. And because of that, what do? You disperse the crowd. You see, no one owns anyone. Even if you disperse the crowd, when it will come to voting, these people will vote by their own thinking, by their own hearts. And if anyone owned anyone, I'm sure some of these MPs would never have left parliament. Even if you serve for 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, somehow, one day, one time, you will definitely go home because you don't own people. You don't own people. People are not your property, they are not your possession. Yeah, they're not your possession. They might have voted for you, right? They might have made you for that term to be their MP, to be their governor, their senator, their women representative. But that doesn't really mean that you own them. That you can do as you feel because they gave you the mandate to be the MP at that time, to be the senator at that time. Who knows what will happen come the next general election? Will you still be on the ballot? Maybe. You might be on the ballot, yes, but will you win the election? Not always obvious. We have seen prominent politicians go home. We have seen people who had um, what do you call it, who were earth shaking, who would move crowds, go home. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter who you are. Wananchi are the same. If they are fed up with you, they'll take you home. If they love you, they'll take you back. So you don't have to use violence. In any case, some of these leaders really haven't properly served their constituencies. Why? We still have so many issues affecting these constituencies. They are not so perfect in how they adjudicate their duties. All right. So why bring forth violence? What really is the agenda? All right. So that's what we'll be looking at. Why violence in our meetings? Why make it nasty? Why make it bloody? Why destroy a meeting organized by anyone, Ruto, Raila, Osoro, whoever? Why destroy someone's meeting? All right. So, Bwana Alex, even as we look at that matter, why do you think now there is a research of bloody meetings and political violence in our country?
From what I've come to know,
Uh-huh.
there is it is not the Soros or those boys that you see that decide they are going to do that.
Uh-huh.
There is a elite squad leader
Mm-hmm.
within the state house
Uh-huh.
that wants to make sure that we don't have political meetings or
Mm-hmm.
or other leaders should not oversight.
Uh-huh.
I- If you look at what happened in Kisi, for example,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Osoro was the author of that.
Uh-huh.
They want to destroy Simbarat, and they
Mm-hmm.
know that
Mm-hmm.
Osoro is his greatest critic. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because you saw soldiers from Langata and Simba quoted the soldiers that he knows where they come from and their
Mm-hmm.
names. And
Mm-hmm.
what Simba said is, State House is the one uh, propelling this kind of things,
Mm-hmm.
and it's unfortunate, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
then when Ruto came to power, the environment, the
Mm-hmm.
the the, the how can I call it? The,
Mm-hmm.
the, the osmosis
Mm-hmm.
of the country
Mm-hmm.
uh, changed into violence
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
because you know what happened in Bomas,
Mm-hmm.
Kamago, and everything. People are
Mm-hmm.
still mad. There are people who are still stressed and even who committed suicide. Now,
Mm-hmm.
to add the matter
Mm-hmm.
to add the matter to add salt into a wound,
Mm-hmm.
woman now wants to meet Ruto. You
Mm-hmm.
know, these are the things that are making people mad. But those who come to disrupt rallies,
Mm-hmm.
it is a direct, uh, it's a direct directive from State
Mm-hmm.
House
Mm-hmm.
because they are not being. Peter Salasa slaps somebody and is taken to jail,
Mm-hmm.
but somebody kills people
Mm-hmm.
and 13 people are in the hospital with serious wounds,
Mm-hmm.
but is not being arrested.
Mm-hmm.
They say that they cannot confirm that it was him.
Uh-huh.
So you can see that the government, when Osoro explained why he went to that, Osoro agreed that he went there and disrupted. But the police are saying he did not. So this
Uh-huh.
clip that you put there of Kisi, I saw it. What
Uh-huh.
the guy was saying is this: you cannot be an MP and then kill your own people. You are supposed to protect them.
Yeah, yeah.
And the governor is supposed to go anywhere in the county because he's the governor.
Uh-huh.
And he said the governor did not come to cause chaos. He came to give bursaries
Uh-huh.
to poor people.
Mm.
And and what the guy was saying is that Osoro's brother was there. Osoro's
Uh-huh.
auntie was there. Osoro's niece was there. Maybe you could have killed them,
Uh-huh.
you know. So
Uh-huh.
the environment from the election and the direct directives from the state house, whereby
Uh-huh.
people have impunity and there is no repercussions. Thank you, Jax.
Uh-huh. Now, that happened in Kisii, and I don't know if you saw the guy whose ear was shot and how he was oozing blood all over, and it seemed as though, as many are explaining, the bullet wasn't aimed at him; it was aimed at the governor. How true is that?
No, the governor is the one who perpetrated. The governor came there for a showcase
Uh-huh.
because if you look carefully, the governor today met Mudavadi.
Uh-huh.
Why do you go to ODM rally? You say that, Paul, I will do these things to the Teso people because the Teso people say how the governor and the Watesa.
Uh-huh.
You come to a rally and now the next day you're meeting Mudavadi. Does that not
Uh-huh.
confirm that he was part of the perpetrator?
Who now?
Otuoma.
Uh-huh.
So Otuoma
Now you're
is,
talking about the Busia disruption, right?
yes, Otuoma is the governor of Busia.
Correct.
Yeah. So he
Mm-hmm.
was the perpetrator of that because he had been booed. Remember, the, Baba has two meetings. He has
Mm-hmm.
one meeting here, and then he goes to another. Like today in Bungoma, they had
Mm-hmm.
the first meeting. I don't know where it was, and then they
Mm-hmm.
went to Porta. So when they booed Otuoma at the first place in Teso,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
before now they went to Busia. You could
Uh-huh.
realize that Otuoma organized that.
Uh-huh.
Yes, but
And
the real question is,
that for trauma was even so bad because we saw people come highly armed with crude weapons, ready to strike and pounce at anyone they felt this is not from our side. This is not our supporter, or this is someone who is on the opposite camp. Um, why arm people with machete, even if you agree whether they booed you or not? Why do that?
Jakes, the directive, the directive from the State House is that they can use anything to make sure they kill some people.
Mm-hmm.
Ruto has decided
Uh-huh.
to do what is called extrajudicial killing. So
Mm-hmm.
you can understand. And Martha Karua told us that there is an elite challenging squad that has been made
Uh-huh.
to deal with people. Remember during Maandamano in Nairobi,
Mm-hmm.
you saw the police that were doing that one. Some of the people, they were not policemen.
Mm-hmm.
You remember?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. When we were
Mm-hmm.
when we were talking about when we were talking about who did these things, we
Mm-hmm.
realized that some of these people are not policemen,
Mm-hmm.
but they were armed with bunduki
Uh-huh.
and they were never arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Can't you see that the government is culpable of that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, let our visitor talk to us.
All right. Mr. G, good morning. How are you?
Morning, sir. How are you?
We are fantastic. I hope you slept well.
I'm still on the bed, but nimefika asubuhi.
Oh, all right. Unajua, I saw somewhere mtu akikuenjoy about how you said you are heartbroken. But that being said, we are continuing with the conversation we had last night about political violence that we normally see during meetings. Now, what we are looking at is an exchange between the police and those guys armed to the teeth with crude weapons. um, why do we have such intolerance in our country, Mr. G, from where I sit?
First of all, I greet to Mr. Alex and Mr. Anaitwa Goodia, and
Mm-hmm.
our viewers in the comment section. Yeah, this issue of people arming themselves with crude weapons, I think it's just inhuman. Kwa sababu as much as kuna disagree ama hatupatani ideology ama anything else, hakuna kitu ambayo inafanya I take a weapon apanga nije nikate mtu kwa sababu ati I'm trying to show ati nimekasirika. This is just madness. Na utapata that these people that we elected, our governors, MPs, our MCS, these are the people who organize these things, alafu wanalipa hawa
Mm-hmm.
watu. Hakuna vile mtu anaweza amuka tu from nowhere and then he carries a panga na anajua polisi wako pale, alafu anakuja kama hajatumwa ama kama hajalipwa.
Mm-hmm.
So our people that we choose that are incompetent. These people, even in fact, they are not leaders. They're just murderers. They're murderers. Look at what happened at Shakahola. Tangu watu wakufe, more than 400
Mm-hmm.
people wamekufa. Uliona hata siku moja ati Ruto ameenda tu just kuangalia how situation is, just to mourn with
Mm-hmm.
Kenyans, kusema
Mm-hmm.
aya pana hii mambo, na amefika pale. Mimi sijaona mtu kama amefika pale mpaka leo, and yet more than 400 people died. So this Kenyan, the
Mm-hmm.
moment walipatiana huyu mtu hiyo sword, wakampatia katiba, waliingiza Kenya yetu kwa shimo. That's why you see these things happening. Unapata baki na Osoro wanakimbia na bunduki wakipiga watu, hawashtuki, hawajali.
But when you look at this meeting, it like I think this was poster grounds. I think so. I think I'm not sure, but I think so. Um, it began well, right? But later on, goes from nowhere with weapons ready to pounce. You see, like this man, I don't know if I remember, I'll try to find a pointer, but this guy has a very lengthy, can I call it a kuni or mbao or what? Or a rungu, let me call it. So he's ready, so ready, eh? In short, alingoja tu awe aggravated to the level of striking. Yeah, see the police. This I think are not even tear gas. These are live bullets being shot in the air. Hmm? Does a meeting have to end like this, Mr. G? Do we really have to have a meeting that ends like this?
No, this is not right. We need to have peaceful meetings every place we go.
Mm-hmm.
We are just brothers and sisters. Yeah, we are just brothers and sisters. So when you see such things happening, unajua
Mm-hmm.
tu ni watu wamechochewa. That's why my blame goes to our leaders, the
Mm-hmm.
people that we choose. These are people that they're just murderers. They are people that they don't care when somebody dies. What they want to get, ni bora tu wamepata that leadership. That is what only thing that they need. Other things hawataki
Mm-hmm.
kujali, and that's why they are organizing such things. Because at any meeting, okay, sawa, the country is divided. People wamekasirikia
Mm-hmm.
the policy that this guy is using to lead the country, Ruto.
Uh,
Watu hawapendi
uh,
those policies. Watu hawapendi the way he runs the country. But now we are still brothers and sisters. There's no point whereby we need to kill each other kwa sababu ya huyo mtu. That's why yesterday I was talking about revolution whereby we can and military can come in watusaidie kung'oa hii regime yote itupiliwe mbali. Because the people they don't care, they
But
don't care.
this meeting was not disrupted by police. It was disrupted by Raya. So how is Ruto involved?
The main problem is Ruto, GX, and you know it. The main okay. Before I answer that
I
question,
don't.
Mr.
That's why I
GX.
want you to tell me.
Okay, okay, Mr.
I
GX.
don't. I want you to tell me. Yes,
Before I answer the question, I just have to ask you one question. Where you are
please
right
do.
now, are you happy
Uh,
with the current situation that is happening on the issue of electricity? Where you are in Nakuru, are you happy with the situation?
mi kwanza hapo pa electricity. Where?
You
But
see,
that
I think
doesn't
there
give
is
me the right to go and hurt someone. Go and cause fracas in someone's meeting. Because look at
no
this
what
man. That man I'm pointing at. That man has a machete. He has a rungu, ready to cut anyone. That man in red. Hmm? That's why I said, look at him. The man has a panga. The man has a rungu. Hmm? Wengine wanapita. Look at that man. I think I'll be able to project him again. He has a
yeah,
panga.
and
Parking
and
mbele
this
ya
is the guy that I
polisi.
was saying.
Yeah. You see the guy has
Yeah,
a
this is the guy that I
panga.
was saying. Police were hapa.
Who was he willing to cut? What was that panga for?
So it's Otoma to tell us now. Otoma and his goons. They're the one to tell us what were the agenda of those guys there. Kwa sababu he was walking around mbele ya polisi
Uh-huh.
na polisi sioni hata kufanya
Uh-huh.
anything and yet he's carrying a panga. Kwa
But
hii
you
group
see,
yote
even
hapa kuna
when they
watoto, kuna
came,
mama.
there's something I wanted you to note. When they arrived at the meeting here, when they arrived at the meeting here, you see, I don't know if I'm able to still point, but you can see where I've frozen. There's someone lifting a rungu. So this is something they knew would happen before. This is a rungu being lifted in the air, right? Even when they arrived, these people are still in the meeting. They knew what would happen. They
There's
knew
something
what
I
would
told you
happen.
yesterday. There's
Uh-huh.
something I told you yesterday. This guy, when he was in Malaba, he was heckled. And when he was in Teso, again, he was heckled. So
Mm-hmm.
I predicted and I still point fingers to this guy Otoma because he didn't want to be ashamed for his homeland,
Uh-huh.
which is Busia.
Uh-huh.
So I think he just planned this thing. Now he
Uh-huh.
wanted the plan these people to
Uh-huh.
distract this meeting and he ended it prematurely, so that as you were ashamed.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he knew that this thing will happen, but Baba never knew, did not know. Even those other guys, they did not know, but this guy knew. Otoma knew that something will happen.
Mr. Alex, what do you make of this? Because people arrive in the meeting so well, but look moments later. This is what happened.
But I've already
You
told
see,
you that
mm-hmm.
Oduma is culpable.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? He confirmed it by meeting Mudavadi later on.
Mm-hmm.
How do you have an electric rally and you say Busia is number one ODM, and and later on you go to meet Mudavadi?
Mm-hmm.
I don't criminalize relationships, but
Mm-hmm.
then some things when you connect the dots, you form the
Mm-hmm.
straight line.
Mm-hmm.
Otuma was culpable. You see, and I've
Mm-hmm.
told you, you asked me this question before. You, Baba went to the first meeting, which was in Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
Peaceful, but people refused.
Mm-hmm.
People refused him to talk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They heckled him. And they
Uh-huh.
told Baba what he has done. There is not even
Uh-huh.
one Teso who is a CS.
Mhm.
Their hospital does not have what? Madawa.
Mhm.
They don't have enough doctors. That guy that was an MC was so eloquent. If you could put stop putting this violence thing. Put what that guy said. Put
Uh,
that what that guy said, and you
which
could
guy
know
now?
who is the real Otuoma.
Mhm.
You could see Otuoma very uncomfortable in that rally
Mhm.
in person
Mhm. Mhm.
because he knows what he has done. So when he
Mhm.
was heckled, he was
Mhm.
refused, and he was told he might not. And somebody told Baba to not give this guy a nomination ticket
Mhm.
because ametesa Watesa.
Mhm.
So I think from there, he quickly organized his goon. He called whoever
Uh-huh.
he organized his goon, and that's why
Mhm.
he's over there. So there's nothing to argue about Busia. Busia, it is
Uh-huh.
Otuoma who is culpable.
Mhm. All right. Mr. G, you come from this side. What would you explain to have caused the issues in poster grounds?
The problem is that people are not happy with the way he's
Mhm.
doing his things. This is a guy
Mhm.
ambaye alikuwa elected by ODM, but amekuwa on the side of UDA sana kuliko the way people wanted, because people believe in Raila and people believe in ODM. But this guy
Mhm.
unapata hata alikuwa akivunja vibanda za watu, hawa mama mboga pale kwa barabara, hizo vibanda zinawekwa kando kando ya barabara ya kuuza mboga nini, anavunja
Mhm.
and he doesn't care.
Mhm.
He doesn't even talk
Mhm.
to them. If you want to know that
Mhm.
there was a problem, just go back to this clip. You see this rally,
Mhm.
wakati nani alikuwa anaongea, wakati Shifuna alikuwa anaongea, akiendelea kuongea watu walianza
Mhm.
kumwambia kuna pia UDA mall hapo. Shifuna akawa anasema mnasema nini? Wanasema kuna UDA mall hapo. Akasema wacha mimi nikuje mniambie huyo ni nani, huyo ambaye ni UDA mall. Unakumbuka
Mhm.
akiambia Raila kwa watu wanataka kuniambia kitu, wacha niende niwasikize afu nikuje nikwambie.
Mhm.
They didn't want to hear anything with this man.
Mhm.
Yeah, this guy
Mhm.
amekuwa akiendeleza agenda ya Ruto, na watu hapendi hiyo, watu hawataki kusikia hiyo. Busia is an ODM zone, is an Azimio zone, so
Mhm.
hawezi kubali hiyo
Mhm.
ukuzi. That's why you see all these things are happening.
Mhm.
Look at somebody like the MP from
Mhm.
Matayos. That is my MP from Matayos. That guy
Mhm. Mhm.
akiongea kila mtu anapiga
Mhm.
makofi, and this guy ndio alikuwa na nani, alikuwa na Uparanya ile siku ambao Tuma alipanga guns wakawapiga kwa ile maandamano ambayo ilikuwa
Eh.
Busia. Yeah, the MP from Matayos alikuwa na nani, alikuwa na huyu former Kakamega governor, but Otoma akapanga guns
Mhm.
wakapiga gari ya nani ya
Ya Oparanya, Mr. G.
All right.
ya Oparanya.
Mr. G, namwelewa, he's equally working. But Alex, even before now, we now look at the newspapers. When you look at all this, somehow, someone needs to be answerable. As you rightfully asked, one guy slaps an MCA, he's he's rushed to the police station. Another one maims other guys, and nothing happens. What do you make of it?
Again, it's the status operation. If you are not, if you are not in a UDA, if you do something, you'll be arraigned in court quickly.
Mhm.
But if you are UDA and you make mistakes, you are forgiven.
Mhm.
Nobody will touch you. You are untouchable. That's the kind of division that we have found in Kenya right now. That there is two kinds of prosecution: UDA and Azimio. As long as you are in UDA, nothing will happen. Everybody saw what Osoro did, the whole country, but nothing has happened to him. The police are saying that they did not see him there. Yet he was there. The
Mm-hmm.
clip, the clips in that rally shows Osoro entered there with the police vehicles, and they shot randomly, and they took away.
Mm-hmm.
Today's rally, no, today's interview. Simbarati had an interview in Citizen. I don't know if any one of you
Yeah,
watched.
yeah, I saw it together with Osoro. I did see it.
No, so Simbarati explained all the things that Osoro has done in Kisii, and he has never
Mm-hmm.
been prosecuted. Simbarati gave a, a, a catalog of all what Osoro has done. He even
Mm-hmm.
said Osoro brought police to his office.
Mm-hmm.
There were so many GSUs in the office. But Simba being Simba, he braved himself. He went to his office, and he asked those people, habari yenu, wakanyamaza. So what happened was, yeye akaingia kwa ofisi, but other county officers refused to go there because
Mm-hmm.
they were afraid. So he decided to go out. He decided to go out. That's how he narrated. He decided to go out so that he can see if they are going to arrest him. They did not arrest him.
Mm-hmm.
So Simba being a law-abiding person, he went to the police and reported there are so many GSU in my office. I don't know what they are doing there. My workers have refused to come.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He called the county commissioner and he told him that. So the county commissioner uh, decided to go because obviously being part of the government, he decided to go there with Simbarati and ask if Simbarati has committed what? A crime. You know what these people say? That we came to rest here. We have come from somewhere. We came to rest. This was the best place to rest. A very stupid reason.
Uh-huh.
Then they said, we are leaving now. They left.
Uh-huh.
That was the directive of Osoro.
Uh-huh.
There was a funeral again that was in his constituency. He came and disrupted the, the, the funeral, and Simbarati had gone there because that mama had been sick for a long time and finally rested.
Mm-hmm.
And
Uh-huh.
Simbarati, when he goes to the hospital to see people, he makes relationship with them.
Uh-huh.
So when he had that mama of 8 years has died, Simbarati went there. So Osoro came again, he disrupted the funeral. People left. That mama was buried at 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And this boy, Osoro, does not care what he does.
Mm-hmm.
He has done so much bad against his own people because Osoro has gone there, because Simbarati has gone there. So these are government directives
Mm-hmm.
that these people are untouchable. And they are being used. It was not Osoro who does these things. Osoro is told that Simba is becoming too popular. You remember when Osoro went to Muita funeral in Korea? Did you watch that clip? Jex, did you watch that clip?
Yeah, I did.
So when Ochilo Ayako stood up, he was, I think he was the MC because he's the governor over there. So when Achilo uh, invited Simba to come, he said, "Let me tell you something. This boy is becoming more popular than Baba, and it looks like he may." And everybody has agreed, and he named the counties that he goes, Komichango, Kanisa, and all these things. He said Kisii, Nyamira, Migori, Homa Bay, Kisumu, Siaya, and even some parts of Maseno there. And he said, this is our next leader. So I think the intelligence does show. You saw Ruto receive intelligence every day. You know, this boy Simbarat is loved so much. For no, I don't know why people love him. So they want to kill him because he's a threat to in the next election. Because I don't think, by all necessary means, that Kalonzo may get the nomination. So that is the case of Simba. But then again, I'm saying there is somebody who set out, who sent these people and tell them, this is going to happen on this day, do this. Go hire vijana and do this. Disrupt, disrupt, disrupt everywhere.
Now, speaking of Kalonzo, of course, I was to do this in the evening, but just like a pre-show. Um, why is it we are yet to see him do so much, why is it we are yet to see him do so much despite him saying that 2024 he will traverse the country? We are yet to see him make any movement. He's still in Cumberland, and he's still not yet moving around. Raila is all over. He's trying to marshal up numbers for ODM. He's trying to have people join ODM. And then after doing all that donkey work, you want to mean atapeana tu hiyo kazi yote kwa Kalonzo, Mr. G. Mr. G, are you still there with me? All right. Alex, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Let me ask you, Raila Odinga has been all over trying to recruit people to ODM, has been all over trying to help increase support for ODM. Kalonzo, we are yet to see him do anything. But why is it that he wants to be endorsed in 2027 despite not, as much as you want to be helped, equally show that you want to get it? He said 2024 he will be the year he traverse the country. We are 18 days to the date, but he's yet to do anything. So how comes he just wants to be endorsed, but seemingly doesn't want to do anything for it?
You know, first of all, I like Azimio, uh, but some principles I like them, but I fear their past.
Uh-huh.
It is Kalonzo who stole our ODM certificate, and we
Uh-huh.
became party-led.
Uh-huh.
We suffered. You remember how we suffered?
Uh-huh.
Raila is a presidential candidate, but there is no what? We don't have a certificate.
Uh-huh.
Luckily enough, there was a boy who had registered ODM, the original ODM.
Uh-huh.
So what did
Mhm.
Nyongo do? Nyongo was the general secretary. Nyongo went and bought that certificate from that board. And I
Mhm.
remember when we got that certificate, Baba and Nyongo cried,
Uh-huh.
cried a cry of joy
Mhm.
because something that, 'cause him and Maanzo, walitutesa sana.
Mhm.
So Kalonzo, I think today or yesterday, had a national delegate,
Uh-huh. Yesterday.
something like that. You see, and that's what I used to complain before. Remember, Jack, that
Mhm.
we need to mobilize, we need to register people, we need to be ready. But it looks like Raila listened to this channel. He
Mhm.
decided to do so,
Mhm.
and now we are seeing uh, very very powerful meetings all over. When he goes
Mhm.
somewhere, even Bungoma that we feared, he he managed to have a big rally in the poster ground.
Mhm.
So, and remember what Sifuna said today, that the political fund, political party fund that
Mhm.
that we are supposed to receive, ODM was supposed to get 307
Mhm.
million,
Mhm.
and it was reduced to 120 million. And
Mhm.
even that 120 million, they haven't been given until today.
Mhm.
And he
Mhm.
said, all these all these rallies that we are seeing, hizi kofia na kila kitu, it's Raila funding right now all these rallies. And imagine him funding them in 47 counties. This is a man who loves a country.
But after doing all that, Kalonzo wants to be endorsed.
Nobody will endorse Kalonzo.
Mhm.
Nobody. Nobody will endorse Kalonzo. Because
Mhm.
Kalonzo honestly cannot win the election
Mhm.
against William Ruto. Weka Simba Rati huko uone. The guy is eloquent. And the second thing, the guy is trustable. Thirdly,
Mhm.
the guy is courageous. Fourthly, the guy can explain something and convince anybody anything about what this government did and what he is going to do. So we should not even be talking about endorsing Kalonzo
Mhm.
because he's not going to be endorsed.
Mhm. Mr.
But
G, same question. Baba does the heavy lifting. Baba is all over. We are seeing him doing everything. And then Kalonzo is still in his Kamba yard. Sorry to use that phrase. But and then come 2027, he just wants to be endorsed. Does it work like that?
It doesn't work like that. Sorry, I had a problem with my network. So I think you asked a question
It's
Nasikupata.
okay.
I had a problem with my network. Okay. I agree with everything Alex is talking about on this issue of Simba Arati, comparing him with the Kalonzo. When you look at Simba Arati, even though Simba Arati is a governor, but that is a guy that shows some leadership in him. This is a guy that, in fact, akisimama kwa president, and he shows that presidency in him. There's something that you'll
Mm,
see, alafu naona no, this guy is just a unique person, si mtu normal.
mm,
But when you compare him with
mm,
the Kalonzo is somehow weak. Kalonzo is somebody that wants presidency, but jamaa hata
mm,
haonekani. Ujue sahii angekuwa ni
mm,
mtu ambaye he's mobilizing his people, angekuwa na mobilize the whole
mm,
country, anakimbia kila mahali akishow that power in him, but he's not
mm,
showing. Look at
mm,
Simbarati. Simbarati is not running for presidency. He's just
mm,
focused on his governor and he's focused on this area. But just look at
mm,
how he does his things. Ni mtu ambaye amekuwa focused and ni mtu ambaye akisema anataka kuwa president, he can he can attract a lot of masses on his side. So for Kalonzo to be
mm,
endorsed, I'm not sure,
mm,
but he need to work so hard. He need to
mm,
work extra harder if he want to get that seat because naona ni kama bado ako chini sana, yani he's not ready
mm,
for this thing, na in case tuende na yeye akiendelea hivi huyu mwizi atatuibia.
mhm. All right. Can we now look at the daily nations? Now, kuko na hii story bwana Alex na Mr. G of our ladies kufanyiwa ile kitu when they go to Airbnb. Of course, Roy Sambu has been making headlines the last couple of days. Ladies wanafanywa ile kitu ya ladies they have fallen victims of bad dudes who end up using them wrongly and eventually maiming and killing them. We have a recent story of a lady who was slashed into small pieces, I think ready for disposal, but that kind of maybe was intercepted before it happened. But her body was discovered in small bits, in small bits, and it's um it's something that has made headlines for the last couple of days. Now, this is what the Daily Nation has for you. This is what they're talking about, that date with death, last moments of varsity girl. All right, that's the lady. They are terming like Rita Waeni, sorry, 20 years old, had never met her killer before, and she had on several occasions declined the man's request for a meetup.
Yeah, I saw that lady. But Dex, this Airbnb lady thing, people should have learned when Kabogo, uh, they say they alleged that Kabogo also killed that lady, the other lady. So
Mhm.
this should learn that you should not have sex to get money. Have sex and things will be better. But you find ladies nowadays wakipata mwanaume wanataka amlipie rent, afanye nini, afanye nini, as much
Uh-huh.
as you have, they should learn. These cases have been so many
Mhm.
to a point that when you do that, know that you're taking yourself to the
Mhm.
grave.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But Mr. Alex, this lady, according to how they're reporting, the man tried to make many advances, and then I think eventually she agreed, and then it's like she was taken hostage because the family claims that the suspect demanded for nearly 500,000 in ransom, only for her body to be discovered in small pieces. What do you make of it? Is it that the lady eventually gave in to the demands and the requests from the guy?
It doesn't matter, Jex.
Mm-hmm.
Jex, sisi ni wanaume. Kama unataka mwanamke, you must pressurize. Hawezi kubali mara ya kwanza,
Uh-huh.
lazima you pressurize it. So that's the
Uh-huh.
way, that's the nature of seduction. So
Mm-hmm.
there is nothing
Mm-hmm.
wrong
Uh-huh.
to insist.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of women, let me say in Kisi, huwezi kuongoza
Mm-hmm.
mwanamke mara moja akubali.
Uh-huh.
It's only Wakamba who does that.
Really?
Go in the university, Wakamba kama wamekupenda,
Mm.
they will just tell you, which is good because
Mm-hmm.
they tend to be honest
Mm-hmm.
and they don't go to Airbnb now.
Mm-hmm.
Mkipendana, you will find a place, a safe
Uh-huh.
place.
Mm-hmm.
But this Airbnb girls that they are doing, it's it for me, it is it, they are looking for money. So
Mm-hmm.
it's taking also advantage of men.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mr. G, what do you make of these killings? The other day, Kanyare's sister was killed. This equally is another lady, Rita Waeni, who was equally butchered in this what they are terming Airbnb. Of course, the Nairobi County has come up with raft of measures just to help mitigate all this. But what do you make of these killings happening in our country, especially against women?
Okay, yes. Okay, before I go to that, let me just comment something on what Alex has said. Alex has said that Wakamba wako rahisi, and I can agree with Wakamba because there's a narrative that says Mkamba akikukataa Izedo umerogwa.
Mm-hmm.
Ukikataliwa na Mkamba Izedo umerogwa. So I don't want to go that way, but I want to just comment something on
Mm-hmm.
this issue of killings. You know,
Mm-hmm.
is right for somebody to persist. Mwanaume akitaka msichana huwa kuna ile persist, utapersist kwa sababu sometimes hawa watu mwanzo mwanzo huwa wanakataa. But now my worry is how can you just meet somebody that umekuwa haujamkutana naye hata for the first, haujakutana naye tena, this is the first time umekutana naye, and then you are going to sleep with him on the BNB.
Mm-hmm.
How comes hata kama si kwa BNB any room, how can you just meet somebody, a man that you don't know, ndio umekutana leo
Mm-hmm.
alafu naamua kwenda kulala kwa room naye? I think
Mm-hmm.
as much as we blame these girls too because of that love of money, we have to blame even ourselves as parents. I think kama parents tumekosa nurture our girls, hatuongei nao, we don't talk to them and tell them what is wrong and what is right, even though they are big people ambao wanafaa wanajua what is wrong and what is bad and what is right.
Mm-hmm.
But also as parents, I think a time comes that we need to wake up na tuweze kusaidia wasichana. Most of these girls siku hizi hata hawafanyi kazi. These girls wameketi tu kila saa ni pesa. Ukikutana na msichana saa hii ukamsalimia tu, kumsalimia tu ile kujuana, kitu ya kwanza ambayo atakwambia nataka lunch, dakika kidogo nataka sijui chakula, sijakula, nataka sijui sapa, sijui nataka juice. And sasa ni kitu
Mm-hmm.
ambayo imeendelea, alafu now maisha pia they want to live huge, they want to live hard, yani large, ile wanataka waishi pesa, yani maisha mazuri. So when they are promised
Mm-hmm.
100,000, 50,000, 300,000, it is easy for this girl to sleep with these guys, with these people, na hawajui kuwa pesa
Mm-hmm.
inaua.
Mm-hmm.
It is very
Mm-hmm.
bad for you to destroy your life just for 300 shilling, 300,000, ambao and 300,000 kitu ambao ukimaliza nao 1 month imeisha ama 2 months
Mm-hmm.
imeisha, and you are destroying your life. Hata haujui kama mtu anataka kukupatia ukimwi, just because of love of money you are destroying your
Mm-hmm.
life. Our girls are dying every time and day. Kwanza wachi hii ambayo inatangazwa, kuna hizi ambayo inafanyika secretly, wasichana wanakufa kila siku, wasichana wanapewa ukimwi kila siku just because of love of money.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to wake up as parents also kusaidia
Mm-hmm.
wasichana wetu, na wasichana wetu pia wanafaa wajue kuwa ni
Mm-hmm.
vizuri kufanya kazi. Enda tubebee mtu maji, enda uvulie mtu nguo, kuliko
Mm-hmm.
kwenda kuuliwa pale kwa sababu tunataka pesa na unapewa ugonjwa ambao hautaipona. There's a big problem in Kenya with our young girls. Upate msichana mdogo, msichana wa miaka 20 ameenda amekazana na mzee wa miaka 80, 90 years kwa sababu ya pesa. Ujinga mtupu, na hii ndio inafanyika hapa beach. Come here beach
Mm-hmm.
and uone vile wasichana wadogo wanasumbua. Msichana hata 16 years anang'ang'ana na mzee
Mm-hmm.
wa 50 years just because of love
Mm-hmm.
of money. And
Mm-hmm.
these people, other people that are doing this ritual, they are just ritualists. Wanawaua
Mm-hmm.
ndio wapate pesa.
Mm-hmm. All right, Mr. Alex, walianza na kukula fea. Baada ya kukula fea, I think wanaume wameamua nyinyi mmekula fea sana. Now they are hurting them in very 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 difficult terms to describe, because uh, going to the level of killing, I think it's even worse, because when you look at it, some of these girls are in their as early years, 20 years, 23 years, 26 years, ni wasichana wadogo, lakini wanakufa tu kiholela kwa sababu ya pesa, kwa sababu ya jinsi ambavyo walijituma kwa hawa jamaa wao. Wakienda, I think they went innocently, and only for the guys to be either serial killers or people with ill motives. From where you sit, what can we do as a society? Because something must change. We might blame the girls, we may blame the men, but by the end of the day, we need to ask ourselves, what can we do to help mitigate such issues from escalating? Alex, Mr. G, tunaweza fanya nini ili tusi escalate hii situation to levels zenye tutashindwa kumanage?
Okay, I think kitu ya kwanza ni our girls should be educated. Wache
Mm-hmm.
mambo ya kupenda mali,
Mm-hmm.
watafute wenyewe pesa zao. Wache mambo ya kupenda mali. Nothing comes for free siku hizi. Kitambo ilikuwa, lakini siku hizi nothing comes for free. Ukipewa kitu mtu atakuitisha back for something back. So hawa watoto wasichana wadogo waache kupenda pesa. They should just
Uh-huh.
style up, watafute kazi wafanye. Alafu another thing pia, our policemen should work, they should do their work. Siku hizi mapolisi wengi hata kwa traffic police, utapata mapolisi wengi hata kuna kitu anafanya. Hawa ni watu ambao wameenda kwa matatu kuchukua tu pesa. Sasa if somebody anakata kichwa ya msichana anapotea nayo, si obvious alipita nayo kwa barabara akienda. Why can these people do their work rightly? Wao wanaangalia hizo gari, wana check thoroughly on those vehicles, those cars. Wanaangalia mtu akipita amebeba nini, au kitu ambao anafanya, the main thing ambao anafikiria ni vile watapata 50 bob kwa matatu, watapata 50 bob kwa matatu, na watu wanaendelea kufanya ukora na wizi wakiendelea. These are things ambazo zinaendelea. So angalia, losing very young girls ambao walikuwa na future, na kuna vene tunaweza saidia hii kitu. Another thing ni pia investigation yetu pia iko low.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our policemen need to wake up, wafanye kazi yao pia vizuri.
Of course, equally, the Standard has that story on their front page. They're talking of killers chilling SMS demands revealed. Of course, they have published how many girls are these? Five girls who have landed in bad arms. We have Felis Jepkliting. Well, okay, sawa. Ada Nyambura, we have Scarlett Wahoo and June Jerop. And of course, the lady we are talking about just now. These ladies have fallen victims to men who have maimed them, men who have killed them in a way that many would describe it was inhuman, it was heartless, it was sickening in a way. Because how do you kill a body? Sorry, a lady, then slice her into small bits and leave her in a room, Wahoo equally was killed and the man stabbed himself. Yeah. But this is what the family says. The family of the lady whose body was slashed, that is Lady Rita, that the family of the slain varsity student Rita Waeni tells of their horror when, following her disappearance, received messages from her phone asking for 500,000 ransom, only to later discover her badly dismembered body. All right, they equally saying that Phyllis, a 20-year-old student at Karatina University, her lifeless body was found at her boyfriend's house in January last year. Equally, April of the same year, a 20-year-old Ada Nyambura was found in a bush in April 30th last year, and police said that the Masai Mara University student was raped and killed. Now, just recently, Scarlett Wahoo, I think this is a sister to one, the renowned televangelist, Bwana Kanyari Victor. Uh, his sister Scarlett Wahoo was a socialite who was killed at an apartment in South B, Nairobi, on, of course, January the 6th this year, just a few days ago. And then, of course, the story that equally made news headlines was that of the 36-year-old June Jerop of Kenyatta University, who was doing her master's, whose body was found dumped at Jamhuri Estate in 2023. That was last year. And of course, now today we are talking about Rita Weni, who was found dismembered. In fact, her head was, I don't know if it has been found, but her head is missing. So when you look at these stories of ladies being found dead, all because they met a guy some they have never met before. This was either the first time they are meeting the dude, but of course they are meeting the dude because eventually they know kutakuwa na some money changing hand. Uh, what do you make of it? Is it that our guys are too trusting?
Yeah, money ndio shida, pesa. They love money so much. And there's something that I wanted to comment, Mr. Jex.
Mhm.
Just go to a country like I think it's Japan or India, whereby when you are found ukifanya corruption, huwa automatically unauliwa, death sentence unapewa. In Kenya, this is a story ambayo tumesikia si mara moja. Tumesikia story ya kuwa we have some Nigerians guys in Kenya and they're already using our girls, wanatumia wasichana wetu vibaya sana, and they're here. Some of them wameshikwa. Why can these people just and for them to learn a lesson, why can they just kill them, kill this nini wanaume ambao wameshikwa, wauliwe kabisa mbele ya watu wakiona, they should serve, ndio iwe kama an example to others who have the same behavior. It's very wrong to kill somebody just because of money. So ndio ufanye kazi, hata kama ni kazi kidogo, si lazima upate pesa yote leo, but unaweza pata hiyo kidogo kidogo pole and then uta make it in life baadaye. But why do you go ahead killing somebody because you want money? Na tunapata wengine pia ni watu from Nigeria, they are not Kenyans. Alafu kumbuka our own ambaye ndio president ndio anaendelea kuambia watu waingie Kenya without visas. Sasa hii ndio itakuwa mingi sana wakiingia bila visa.
All right, Alex, I don't know if now you're there with me. Alex, can you hear me? All right. Now, Mr. G, let me ask you this. When you see such murders, and at times some of these things are yet to be resolved, you remember that guy who I think he was sentenced to several years in jail. He went, bought an axe, shocker, traveled all the way from Nairobi to Eldoret, and axed the lady to death, a medical student. I think she was known as Ivy or something like that. Um, some of these lovers, they know each other, because from this article we have that 36-year-old and that 20-year-old who they were in their lovers vicinity, or rather it was love gone wrong. What do you make of it? Is it that mapenzi ndio wanacheza nayo? Is it that what is causing it? What could cause a lover to be so jealous of a partner either moving on or getting someone else, to the level of buying an axe, traveling several kilometers, and commit atrocities because either they feel jilted, they feel aggrieved, they feel heartbroken by these ladies? What would cause such form of violence meted against ladies, even if it's their lovers, people they know so well?
I wanted to use the word immaturity, but sometimes immaturity does not work. I think it's just stupidity, because Jakes, msichana okay, there's something wrong with these girls kwa sababu the girls hawapendi kukaa na mwanaume mmoja, they are players. But now I call it stupidity on the side of men, kwa sababu I cannot fight for a woman. Ati mwanaume nimepata bibi yangu ama nimepata msichana girlfriend wangu na mwanaume mwingine, I'm going to fight that guy. Siwezi fight with that guy. Nitaachana na msichana, and I cannot kill the guy, the lady. But now somebody goes ahead ati kwa sababu amesikia the woman is playing, his woman is playing with another man outside, sasa unaenda kumua. What for? This is just stupidity and ignorance. It's not maturity. Immaturity, kwa sababu some of them that are more than 25 years, these men, some of them that are more than 30 years, and they should be knowing what is supposed to be done. So I think it's just something stupidity and demonic that is really happening. In fact, I can use the word demonic because they're using it wrongly. Something that sometimes they're being done for rituals. So it's just demonic.
Now, why would someone go with someone's head? You leave the legs, you leave the arms, and every other part of the body, but choose to go away with the head, because this is what Taifalo is asking. Mbona walienda na kichwa chake?
These
Of
are
course, this is
rituals.
Rita whose body was dismembered.
Yeah, this is just for rituals. So
Is it some of this
most
is
of them.
Monday serial killing?
For me, I just believe that it is just ritual, kwa sababu sasa kichwa wa mtu nitabeba napeleka wapi? Inaenda kunisaidia nini? You see, so I think just rituals, they are using it for rituals, na ndio sababu unapata watu wengine wanaambiwa, sijui watu wengine wameingia kanisa ya mashetani, Illuminati, sijui umeingia wapi, umeambiwa leta kichwa mtu fulani, leta sijui nini ya mtu fulani. These are just being used for rituals, kwa sababu for a normal person you cannot carry somebody's head alafu unapeleka wapi, unaenda kufanyia nini hiyo kichwa kwanza? You see, it's just around demonic, it's just demonic. You're muted, hatukusikii Mr. Jex.
Sorry for that. Could they be serial killers who take such things like trophies or something they can use to remember what they did? Most serial killers have a way of attaching themselves to a previous crime. They can take a cloth, they can take something to remind them of what they did. Could they have taken the head as a trophy or a souvenir of a crime they committed?
No, that is just narrative, Mr. Jex. This is just narrative.
Mhm.
Although we
Uh,
are being told that hao watu wakiwa kwa mashetani, most of them huwa wanapewa ranks. I'm not sure.
mhm,
So you have to kill so
uh,
many people to get that rank. You have to kill so many
uh,
people to get rank. Ama to get what? I don't understand, but I always think that it's just narrative, kwa sababu it's just ritual. It's just the work of
uh,
the devil. It's satanic work. Sasa wataua watu wadanganye kuwa ni ranks, but
mhm,
there's nothing like ranks ama anything. Because even those, me, I think just some stupidity that is working. Just stupidity.
uh-huh.
Because those serial killers, kitu ambao unanishangaza ni kuwa wanashikwa, mtu ameua watu 10, mtu ameua watu 20, alafu atanafungwa miaka 10 ama miaka 20 tena anaachiliwa. Mtu kama unamwachilia kwa nini?
Mhm,
Those are the people hata hawafai kufunga, hawafai kufungwa lifetime
uh-huh,
in jail. Ni watu wa kuuliwa.
mhm, uh-huh.
Yeah.
All
So this
right.
thing, hii ni mambo tu ya kishetani.
Mhm. But when you look at it, when you look at it, why? Sorry for that. When you look at it, why is it that it's now that we have these cases, and at times when they happen, zitapewa publicity kwa muda kidogo, and then we'll move on, and they will keep on happening. And I'm sure it's not the first time this has been happening, but somehow as a society we end up moving on. Why don't we at times get to the root of all these issues and eventually have a way of solving them, Mr. G?
Uh,
Mr. G? All right, I seem to be losing my panelist. Mr. Alex, are you still there? All right, now let's look at what the Daily Nation had in terms of caricature, and this is what they had displayed. And it's an interesting picture. We have I think it's Rigiji seated at a chair or I'm on a throne, kinda. Let me try to expand that for you. I hope you can see it. This is Mr. Rigiji, I think. Sorry, let me go back. Okay, just one moment. All right, I think there you can see it, right? Now, this is Rigiji, and according to this article, or rather to today's caricature, it's him seated on a throne with a king's helmet, and of course with ropes, trying to pull to himself Mount Kenya. I think they're trying to describe the scramble for Mount Kenya leadership. That's what the Daily Nation has in store for you, in as much as cartoon is concerned. All right. Mr. J, are you back? All right, I seem to have lost them. But then again, that's what seems to be happening with the cartoon for the day. Uh, yes. What do you make of that cartoon? Did it score some points?
Okay, sijaianalyze vizuri that thing.
Mm-hmm. Ni ya Rigiji anajaribu kuvuruta mlima pande yake. He's wearing a king's crown, not a helmet. It's called a crown. Sawa. Asante sana Goodyear. That's why we love you being in the show. Wearing the crown, not a tiara. I almost called it a tiara. Uh, Wearing a crown and then anapul mlima kwake. What do you make of it? Is Gachagua able to pull the crowd to himself?
No, Gachagua is not able to pull. Huyu jamaa is a
Uh-huh.
loose mouth na ni mtu ambaye watu wengi wamemchukia because of how he conducts himself.
Uh-huh.
So even akisema anapush mlima, he will not. Sahi,
Mm.
look at what is happening in Mount Kenya. Ni watu wa UDA wote, lakini wanapigana wenyewe kwa wenyewe. Only 1 year in the
Uh-huh.
office, pamoja kupigana wenyewe kwa wenyewe. And yet yule angekuwa mtu
Uh-huh.
ambaye alikuwa anapeana directives, but he is not able. He's not able. He's incompetent.
All right. Sasa the Standard equally has a cartoon for you, and they are talking of Hakuna Matata. Of course, they're talking about Kenya. This is, I think, Musalia Mudavadi. He's the Foreign Affairs and Prime Cabinet Secretary, and he says Kenya Hakuna Matata. He's wearing a KK blazer with that. Note on his hand saying foreign and diaspora affairs, KK jacket, and then he's saying Hakuna Matata. Now this is what is equally quoting. It's not what you are reading. So normally we say Hakuna Matata, but wamefuta jina H and A, so imebaki Kuna Matata. Eh, if you're not careful, you might miss that HA, Hakuna Matata. So it has been covered by Msalia's body. Uh, so we are seeing this, that Kuna Matata. So what do you make? Kenya Kuna Matata ama Hakuna Matata?
Kenya hakuna matata. Kenya hakuna matata.
Swali ni Kenya kuna matata ama hakuna matata, kwa sababu from that cartoon the word HA has been imefunikwa, so inaanza kusoma kuna matata, like there are problems, eh? So do we have problems or we don't have?
Okay, naturally, ukiangalia when things are done in Kenya, the current regime, there's a big problem in the country. In our country, there is a big problem, but most of the time, what tunasema Kenya hakuna matata. That is the slogan ambao tunakuwa nayo kwa Kenya hatuna matata, but tangu this regime ingie, I can tell you that kuna matata mengi sana under this regime in the current situation.
So it's true kuna matata, si ati hakuna matata.
Exactly, kuna matata sana.
All right, sawa sawa. Can I give you now time to give us your closing remarks even as we wrap up?
Yeah, I'll just give my very short closing remark saying that I think Kenyans, we know that things are not going on well the way we expected. Even though some of us, we knew that when this guy takes over, things will happen the way they are. But now for us as Kenyans, I think we need to wake up, because what is happening currently, I think inafanyika hali vitu ambazo it should not be happening. Kama hii mambo ya watu kupigana kwa rallies, watu kupigana kwa mikutano, these are things that we should not be doing them. You see, even though we have different different more people have different ideas, different ideology that we believe in our policies, but we need to wake up and start doing things maturely, whereby at least you allow somebody to speak his mind, alafu unamwacha aende. If atola ameongea kitu ambayo imekuudhi, don't fight back.
All right. Alex, are you with me? Alex, I think usingizi limfanya ile kitu. It's quite early in the morning. But thank you, Mr. G. We do this again today at 10 p.m. Kenyan time, East African time. Tukutane 10:00 hours, and we will have a great moment here at Africa 24. Kindly consider subscribing and being part of this great family that keeps on growing every other day. This was Africa in the morning. We had a good one. I'm sure you were able to learn one or two things and equally enjoyed yourself. All right. I don't know, but I think you did. All right, so let's meet in the evening, same time, same place here at Africa 24. We'll have an awesome conversation. We'll look at issues making headlines. We'll have another great topic to discuss in the evening. We'll have another great discussion with other able panelists in the evening. So let's meet at 10 p.m. Kenyan time and have a nice time together. I wish equally to commend those who participate in the comment section. Thank you so much again and again. We cannot thank you enough. Asante sana akina Gudia and many for liking, subscribing, and equally participating in the show. Thank you for the thumbs up, for the likes that we got in this show. You guys are just but amazing. Asante sana to equally my panelist Alex and Mr. G, and to you our viewers, asante sana. Let's do this again at 10 p.m. East African time. I leave you with a song that many have come to love. Where is song? I think you can't seem to get enough of it, so I'll play it because it has always been about you, never about us, but about you, Wanaiji. Thank you for being part of us. Asante, asante sana.
Tunasonga mbele watu wote wa Jamhuri Kenya yetu. Tunasonga mbele watu wote wa Jamhuri Kenya yetu. Haya sisi sote wananchi tushangilie. Kwa Jamhuri, kwa Jamhuri, kwa Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Kwa Jamhuri, kwa Jamhuri, kwa Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Mwaka wa 60 umefika, tangu Kenya iwe huru. Mwaka wa 60 umefika, tangu Kenya iwe huru. Haya sisi sote wananchi